microphone on. In your video. Yeah. I'm here. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great, great. Can't get my picture up. That's probably a good thing.
No, we'd like to see you.
Skip, you're muted. No, you're still muted.
How's that?
That's better.
That's good.
Um, this is being recorded, and I've got an echo here. This is being recorded, and it's going out on YouTube. So we'll start the meeting here in about 4 or 5 minutes, and let me get a couple of technical things on my side. Right back. Testing, 1, 2.
Mute yourself.
The meeting.
Mayor, quick question.
Sure.
I cannot find the raised hand. Will you review with us where it's at so that we'll know where to go? We want acknowledgement.
Excellent question.
Okay, I found it. Actually, if you go under participants,
Yeah.
off on the side, and then have gallery view down at the bottom, it has raise hand as one of the 3 options.
Okay. Good.
Thank you, Mr. Powers.
Yes, sir.
Folks, I'm doing a little house cleaning, open up folks' phones. We're going to start off with everybody unmuted. Okay. Give me 1 second. Folks, we're going to go ahead and get started. It looks like looks like most everybody's here. I'm on it. Miss Sue Culver. I am at the Justice Complex. I've got Commissioner Waters on one end of the table, and I've got Miss Sue Culver on the other end of the table. Trying to get everybody set up on this. So I'm going to call the meeting to order and ask Miss Sue to call the roll. If you just say present if you're here. And you have to speak into that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell you what, let me have you roll call. I'll take roll call. All right, folks, can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to take roll call real quick. Commissioner Dacus,
Present.
Commissioner Farley,
Present.
Commissioner German,
Present.
Commissioner Goodrow,
Present.
Commissioner Leggett,
Here.
Commissioner Lillard,
Yes.
Commissioner Norton, okay, I don't see Commissioner Norton here. Commissioner Oglesby,
Present.
Commissioner Perkins,
Here.
Commissioner Powers,
Here.
Commissioner Reeves, Dale Reeves,
Here.
Commissioner Steve Reeves,
Present.
Commissioner Betsy Rice,
Present.
Commissioner Seals. Commissioner Seals said he'd probably be absent. Commissioner Seals, Robert Seals,
Present.
Commissioner Bill Walker,
Present.
Commissioner Johnny Walker,
Present.
Commissioner Larry Watkins. We have 17 present. 1, 2, 3, 3 absent. Excuse me, 16 present, 3 absent.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Logan, there you are. Thank you. I've got you down now. So we have 17 present. 2 absent. Folks, we're going to stick to the agenda as much as possible, just so that we keep in sort of form. If y'all would bow your heads with me for a short invocation, we'll have a short pledge of allegiance. Dear Lord, we're gathered tonight to do the people's business under your guidance. We're living in troubled times and need your patience and wisdom to make it through it. Please bless and keep these leaders and guide them to make wise decisions for everyone concerned. In Jesus' name, pray. Amen.
Yeah.
Pledge allegiance.
1 second, please. Y'all was going to have a flag up there, but y'all would join with me to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
Instead
to
of
The flag
the United States of America.
of America.
and
To the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
Indivisible.
Visible.
with liberty.
liberty and justice for all.
Thank y'all. We're going to dispense with comments on non-agenda items tonight since this is just commissioners and we have the public viewing through YouTube. The first order of business tonight is a required authorization of the meeting that is on your packets. Hope you had time to read it. I'll read it if somebody wants me to. Well, let me read it anyway since it's being recorded. I need somebody to make this motion.
I make some motion.
Well, let me read it so it's in the record, please.
Okay.
I make the motion that Fayette County Commission, in accordance with Tennessee Governor Bill Lee's Executive Order 16, has determined that having this meeting by electronic means is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Fayette County citizens in light of the COVID-19 outbreak. That the divisions of Tennessee Code Annotated TCA Section 8-44-108C, which addresses open meetings guidelines, are in effect, and the meeting will be conducted in a manner consistent with Section 19 of the Tennessee Constitution, allowing monitoring by the press. If I could have someone make that motion.
So moved.
Second.
Please, who made that motion, please? Commissioner Reeves?
Yeah, I raised my hand. Yeah.
All right, I'm still learning. Commissioner Reeves, and I believe Commissioner Powers.
Yes,
Commissioner
second.
Powers seconded. Again, this is going to be a roll call vote.
Mr. Mayor.
This or you me call it?
Mr. Mayor,
Sorry.
we make sure everybody's video is on like we discussed yesterday.
Okay, is Miss Sue's? Hold on just a second. Let me get Miss Sue's on. And Mr. Commissioner Watkins, can you turn your video on? One second. Commissioner Seals, can you undo your, there you go. Okay. All right, this is going to be a roll call vote in favor of the motion. Commissioner Dacus,
Yes.
Commissioner Farley,
Yes.
Commissioner German,
Yes.
Commissioner Goodrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Leggett,
Yes.
Commissioner Lillard,
Yes.
Commissioner Lillard.
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Logan,
Yes.
Commissioner Norton. Commissioner Norton's absent. Commissioner Oglesby,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Powers,
Yes.
Commissioner Dale Reeves,
Yes.
Commissioner Steve Reeves,
Yes.
Commissioner Rice,
Yes.
Commissioner Sills, Robert Sills,
Yes.
Commissioner Bill Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnny Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Larry Watkins.
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes, 17 in favor, none against. Next item on the agenda tonight's approval of minutes. Those are in your packet. These are actually from February of this year. Entertain a motion to approve. If you'd raise your hand, I'll try to find out. Commissioner Power, your hand's raised.
So moved.
And there's a second. I see somebody with a second hand.
Commissioner Leggett, yes.
Commissioner Logan? Okay. We'll get through this. Well, this again, it'll be a roll call vote. This is gonna get sort of tedious tonight, folks. 1 second. Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Farley,
Yes.
Commissioner Jarman,
Yes.
Commissioner Goodrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Leggett,
Yes.
Commissioner Lillard,
Yes.
Commissioner Logan,
Yes.
Commissioner Logan,
Yes.
Commissioner Parker,
Yes.
Commissioner Power,
Yes.
Commissioner Dale Reeves,
Yes.
Commissioner Steve Reeves,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Robert Sills,
Yes.
Commissioner Bill Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnny Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Larry Watkins.
Yes.
Motion passes 17 in favor, none against. All right, the next thing on the agenda tonight is for election of notary public. This is the main reason we're having the meeting tonight. Those have been reviewed by the clerk. Before we entertain a motion to approve, are there any questions about these? Are there any questions about this?
No.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve. Somebody, Kevin Power, Commissioner Powers.
So seconded, Robert Sills.
Okay. Again, this is a roll call vote. Not sure exactly who's doing that. It might be me. Anyway, Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Farley,
Yes.
Commissioner Jarman,
Okay. Yes.
Commissioner Goodrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Leggett,
Yes.
Commissioner Lillard,
Yes.
Commissioner Logan,
Yes.
Commissioner Oglesby,
Yes.
Commissioner Parker,
Yes.
Commissioner Power,
Yes.
Commissioner Dale Reeves,
It won't accept him, and he wants you to say something.
Commissioner Dale Reeves,
Yes.
Commissioner Steve Reeves,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Robert Sills,
Yes.
Commissioner Bill Walker,
Out of a vote, he will.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnny Walker,
And you
Yes.
hear him?
Commissioner Larry Watkins.
Yes.
The motion passes 17 in favor, none against.
He can't get on.
The next thing we got are financial, well, let's see.
And you say, sir,
If there's any financial reports in here, get with the appropriate. Let's see, the mayor's office, let me go through just a couple of things while I got everybody on the
interrupt him.
right now.
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner
Dale
Reeves,
Reeves here. Mr. Norton has called me and says he can't get on.
take care of that right now.
There it is. I'll put her on speaker.
There it is.
He's taking a look at it, the mayor is, okay?
Jim Norton's here.
Got you down, Commissioner.
Okay.
He's on. You're welcome, sweetie. Bye.
Thank you, Mr.
Reeves,
Mayor.
thanks for calling.
All right, sir.
Okay, we're at the mayor's report now. We've got just a couple of things we want to go over real quick. The opinion came out yesterday, basically saying the governor's actions are governed from here on out. County not do anything more restrictive or more lenient. Basically, if the governor's taking an opinion on anything, then we are not at liberty to second guess or to do much about it. So that's been taken up to Nashville. The only thing that we may be able to do is something just specifically inside the county government, such as courthouse hours or employees or something of that nature. That was specific in the order last week with restaurants, and then the AG opinion came out yesterday that basically covered everything else. Monday, restaurants opened at 50%, retail opened tomorrow at 50%. Gym and elective surgery, I believe, opened up Friday under certain conditions. Memphis is looking at Friday at the earliest to open. May well be after the weekend, but they're hoping to open up sometime in that time frame. The hospital is looking for the occur in mid-May to late May. Commissioner Power?
Would it be possible for you to mute everybody except you? I think you're getting some feedback from the other people in your room because it's a terrible echo.
Done. Okay, I took care of it at least for a little bit. Did everybody hear pretty much what I said before? Just nod your head yes and that, or shake it. Okay. Memphis is looking for this weekend to open up. Hopefully, and maybe after the weekend if their trend continues. The hospitals are looking for mid to late May as the top of their curve as far as the hospital usage. So that's the two guidelines they're looking at to trigger opening up Memphis and Shelby County. On to budget issues, budget hearing deadlines are in effect as they have been for the past years. There is no leniency and there's nothing's been pushed back. I actually had a call today from an auditor just checking in to make sure we were aware of it and want to make sure that the information would be available to them. Told them that we were working on that premise. We had not changed any of our calendar guidelines and that we're moving forward. That is all I have on the mayor's report. I don't see the Sheriff Riles on tonight, and I don't see anybody from Board of Education or the other entities. So we'll go on with the to the committees. First committee, and I'm going to unmute everybody again. So wait just a second. Yes, I'll unmute everybody and we'll try this again. If we have too much reverb, then I'll try to mute everybody and just open up the ones on that committee or the chairman of that committee. In fact, I'll tell you what, let me just do that to start with. Chairman Reeves. Well, let's second. Commissioner Farley, let me.
But Development Committee did not meet.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Reeves. Steve Reeves, can you unmute yourself? There you
Yeah.
go.
All right. We met last night, Skip, and we will be presenting at the budget a purchase of laparoscopes. That was for the virus. We had to put that in the ambulance system. So I'm going to defer that until we get to the budget. Okay. But it did pass.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda tonight is Personnel Committee, Commissioner Lillard. Commissioner, there you
go. No, he'll need to unmute.
Yeah, we're trying. There you go. No.
Mayor, if Commissioner Lillard will just hold his space bar, that will open up his mic while he's speaking.
Okay, is that bad? Is that better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We met last night and the first thing on the agenda was changing the name of the committee. I mean, the scope of the committee and going back to the increasing it to add to the name to it. And so weather policy and hazardous event policy is the name of it now. In other words, it was passed through that last night. The original thing also had original directions of this committee were to travel to travel during inclement weather and keep it going with that, and also how to pay for it. But this adds on another dimension where we take in major issues like the hazardous events that we're having now. We also had some changes in the in the work hours and the compensation during emergency declarations, which were straightened out to the, in the event the office is closed by the county mayor, the employee will receive compensation without having to use vacation time or sick time. The original read on that you had to, that if they could penalize you quite, blowing quite strongly for not coming up with any or just or for not coming in for hazardous weather. Any questions you have on this so far?
Okay. Are you going to make that as a motion, Commissioner?
I would move for adoption of the policy amendments.
One second. Commissioner Powers got his hand raised. Commissioner?
Beg your pardon?
Commissioner Powers here. I was just going to make the motion if it wasn't made.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Lillard, are you ready to make a motion on that from your committee?
I ought to move to make adoption of the policy amendment.
Okay. Commissioner Powers? All right, Commissioner Powers. All right, again, this is a roll call vote. First off, does anyone have any questions?
Commissioner Norton,
Yes, sir.
under the heading of this, we described the inclement weather policy. Who declares that inclement weather? The employee or the department head or what? That's not spelled out.
It would be something that I myself declares inclement weather. And the weather that I normally have to deal with is ice and snow. A lot of times we were just right to that edge, and up to now, we basically said you show up, and if you don't show up, you take a day off. And I pretty much showed up every day and told them that they would too. And some have taken days off, some have taken a day off without pay at all, just so they wouldn't lose anything. But there's been a couple of times we needed to close when the ice was really bad. It really didn't make sense to come in. So this just allows us to close it. They don't get penalized for taking a day off on something we closed, and it was something we couldn't avoid either.
So the employee that just doesn't want to come out in the rain can't declare an inclement weather day.
Correct. Correct. If it's not declared from my office, it doesn't work.
Right. That wasn't spelled out in the policy.
Okay, one second. It says, if the office is open during inclement weather, should you choose not to travel to work, time will be charged to your vacation. The county mayor's office would determine when the offices are closed due to weather. So I would be the one to determine if it's open or closed. If it's open and they choose not to come in, that's on them. If it's closed,
and it does say in there that, and you choose not to travel to work,
right,
that will be charged as vacation.
Right, you will be. If you choose not to come and you want to get paid that day, you'll take a day of vacation.
Okay, does that not skirt around the scheduling of vacation then? If employee's been told that he can't be off, he just says, well, I'll just call out inclement weather.
Well, you could probably make that argument. Hadn't really thought of it quite that way. I tell you what, just so we can get something in the policy, because we got some auditors looking at what we're going to be doing. Let me address some language on that maybe next month and month after, as soon as we get something straight on it, and then we'll come back to it. Okay.
Sure.
All right. We've got a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Commissioner Dacus?
Yes.
Commissioner Dacus? I know you're on here somewhere.
He's muted.
Everybody needs to unmute themselves after you.
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Chairman.
Commissioner Farley?
Yes.
Commissioner German,
Yes.
Commissioner Goodrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Leggett,
Yes.
Commissioner Lillard,
Yes.
Commissioner Logan,
Yes.
Commissioner Norton,
yes,
Commissioner Oglesby,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Powers,
Yes.
Commissioner Dale Reeves,
yes,
Commissioner Steve Reeves,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright,
yes,
Commissioner Robert Stills, Commissioner Bill Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnny Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Larry Walker.
Yes.
Anyone who wishes to change their vote? Motion passes 18 in favor, none against. Folks, I'm muting everybody again. Next item on the agenda tonight. Education Committee. Commissioner Dacus.
Yes, we did meet last night. All members were present. Commissioner Johnny Walker, Commissioner Dale Reeves, Commissioner Bill Walker, Commissioner Larry Watkins, Commissioner Jim Norton, and myself. The General Assembly passed a law that requires us to send the school board an estimate of revenues, and in front of us, we had a resolution estimating the revenues at $9,813,459, which is our maintenance of effort. Do I need to read this resolution, or is everybody
I think
have a copy?
I think everybody has a copy of that, unless somebody wants it read.
We've passed this and sent it on to budget for the budget to consider. And that's all the business we had in front of us last month.
Okay. Thank you. Next item on agenda tonight is criminal justice and public safety. Commissioner Rice.
Mr. Chairman, the Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee did not meet in April.
Okay. Thank you. Next item on the agenda tonight is Budget Committee. Commissioner German.
All right, we met last night. The commissioners that were present were Rice, Lillard, Steve Reeves, Logan, Dacus, Farley, Oglesby, and myself, German. First item of business is the budget amendment for the emergency purchase of those scopes that we had to have. You've heard Commissioner Reeves discuss that some, and that we had the committee meeting on that last night. It was recommended by Health and Welfare. If you'll notice on page 58, the cost is $14,810.02. That will reduce the fund balance by that same amount. But the mayor has said that hopefully that's going to be reimbursed by FEMA. Not FEMA. Yeah, it'd be FEMA. But anyway, the federal government. Either way, we had to do it. So I'll make a motion that we approve it.
Second.
Who made that second, please?
Reeves.
Commissioner Reeves, Steve Reeves.
Yep.
All right. 1 second, folks. This is a roll call vote. Commissioner Dacus.
Yes.
Commissioner Farley.
Yes.
Commissioner German.
Yes.
Commissioner Goodrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Leggett.
Yes.
Commissioner Lillard.
Yes.
Commissioner Logan.
Yes.
Commissioner Norton.
yes,
Commissioner Oglesby.
he's muted.
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Powers.
Yes.
Commissioner Dale Reeves. Commissioner Reeves, I know you're here somewhere. I've lost you.
You're muted, Dale.
okay,
Yes, sir.
yes,
Yes. Okay. Commissioner Steve Reeves.
Yes.
Commissioner Rice.
Yes,
Commissioner Robert Sills,
Yes.
Commissioner Bill Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnny Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Larry Watkins.
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes 18 in favor, none against. All right, Commissioner German.
Next item is a school board maintenance of effort funding. You heard Commissioner Dacus discuss that a little while ago. It's on page 59, the actual resolution. I'm not going to read it unless someone wants me to read it. It's been recommended by the Education Committee and approved by the Budget Committee. I make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second Norton.
Okay, motion was made by Commissioner German, second Commissioner Norton. Again, this is a roll call vote. Commissioner Dacus,
Yes.
Commissioner Farley,
Yes.
Commissioner German,
Yes.
Commissioner Goodrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Leggett,
Yes.
Commissioner Lillard,
Yes.
Commissioner Logan,
Yes.
Commissioner Norton,
Yes.
Commissioner Oglesby,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Powers,
Yes.
Commissioner Dale Reeves,
Yes.
Commissioner Steve Reeves,
Yes.
Commissioner Rice,
Yes.
Commissioner Robert Sills,
Yes.
Commissioner Bill Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnny Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Larry Watkins.
Yes.
Motion, anyone wants to change their vote? If not, motion passes, 18 in favor, none against. Commissioner German?
Only other thing that we have on the agenda is budget director letter. Charles McNabb wrote a letter. I'm sure everyone has read it. It's on page 60. The main thing that was addressed in the letter was the $14,810 that we had to buy or spend for the scopes for the ambulance department. Mayor, it says budget update. At this time, you want to give us an idea of what this virus has done to our revenues and expenses?
Okay. On the expense side, we have not fared too badly. Things that we haven't spent, folks not in office, things we just haven't done have sort of freed up some money. And for the most part, except for probably some overtime in a couple of spots in the sheriff's office, maybe, that the expenses haven't been overwhelming. We've had the laparoscopy, I think we just approved. There's some masks we bought, some boxes for some of the courthouse officials so they can do some work, separate themselves from public, some signage, some tools to keep our employees safe. But at the end of the day, we haven't fared too badly. On the revenue side, currently, we're not faring badly at all. This came on after the property taxes review, and those came in at a good percentage. Sales tax to date have been very, very good, pretty much on target with what we projected. Remember that last month's sales tax, we won't get a report on until next month because it's about 2 months in arrears. So that's when we should start seeing some effect. But I've had conversations with the city of Somerville, a little bit with Oakland, some with Piperton. They're not seeing that reduction in sales tax right now. So as long as folks have a job when they come through this, we may fare pretty decently out here. A lot of the things that Shelby County and Memphis are taking hit on, we don't have. A lot of entertainment, a lot of extras. We've got restaurants, we've got grocery stores, and we've got hardware stores when you get down to it. And those are in business and folks are patronizing them. So we haven't seen a big downturn on that. Going forward, school board met last week. They will not have us a budget by May 1st, my understanding is. I thought at one time they might, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. For those of you who may not know it, Dr. King is in negotiations with Madison County to become their superintendent. I think it's just a matter of working out the details, and I would assume that he will take that job at some time in the very near future. May 6th, I've been told, is when it looks like they may have a meeting to at least talk a little bit about budget on the school board side, and we can go from there. Next month is when we normally start on budgets. It depends on what the governor and it says and what the cases look like that first week in May, which is really next week. If the cases stay where they are, or maybe going up a little bit, we may be having this type of meeting again with budget. I've got a way of sharing the screen. In fact, let me just give you a short example if I can pull it up to sort of show you what I'm talking about. I can do this so that you can sort of see my document. And when it comes down to budget numbers, we will be able to point and at least help. Let me something, let's see, spotlight. We'll have something goes around the screen that we can help and move, highlight things. This is on a PDF of just our agenda, but we'll be able to point to items on a spreadsheet, and you will have a paper copy, just like we did tonight, of the items, so that if you want to write on it, take notes on it, you'll be able to do that. We've got it assembled in the office. I was really waiting past tonight, sort of get past this point, and we're going to print it off and send everybody a copy. So we'll handle it this way unless things get a little bit better. And again, everybody is welcome to attend this, and we'll move forward that way. Should the cases start getting better where we can start meeting in public and in a little bit more of a meeting fashion, then we'll bring everybody in. Personally, I like being able to see folks and talk with them and get some reaction back and forth. This is a little disconcerting seeing everybody on the screen at the same time, but I think we can make it through it. It looks like May's County Commission meeting, we might be able to have that from the numbers and everything we're looking at. So that's sort of my goal. We'll probably get through the committee sessions like this, and then hopefully by the May County Commission meeting, we'll come back to a regular meeting. But all that sort of, we'll just see how things work out. Does anybody have any questions on budget going forward or anything particularly the chairman's? Okay.
Hey, Skip,
Commissioner, yes, sir.
is the governor giving any guidelines to churches yet? I haven't read anything today.
Yeah, he's been talking about churches since the end of last week. I expect some guidance by Friday of something. He put out an order today. If you give me just a second, let me see if I can find it. I don't think it addresses anything about churches. It's a little bit on everything else. The hair salons, they're not open. And in front of churches are hair salons in my office as far as calls coming in. Here we go. Places of worship, weddings and funerals, religious services, rites or gatherings, weddings, funerals are not social gatherings under paragraph 2. And nothing in this order mandates closure of a place of worship or prohibits weddings or funerals as a matter of law. However, places of worship are strongly encouraged to continue to utilize virtual or online services and gatherings, and strongly encouraged to follow guidelines to be issued by the Governor's Office of Faith-Based and Community Initiatives regarding any in-person services that can be conducted safely. Further, is strongly encouraged the public celebration components of weddings and funerals to be postponed and attended by only close family members. So if you take that, basically what they're saying is don't have it. It doesn't look like a prohibition, but they're strongly encouraging you not to, and definitely no more than 10 people. Commissioners, anything else? Okay.
Well, Mayor, I'm gonna say that I'm kind of impressed with the full commission being able to do this. I'm like you, I'd love to see everybody again, and hopefully we will soon, and we'll work through this one way or another, and you're doing a good job, and I just want to thank you. That's all we had.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Commissioner. Thanks a bunch. Folks, that's all I've got for you. In the back of your packet are some reports, sales tax, out facilities and building reports, and you can sort of see where those are. I don't think there's any big surprises, any of them. With that being said, if there's no other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, motion by Commissioner Reeves, seconded by anybody? Commissioner Farr. All those in favor, please sign off. Bye-bye.
Please sign.